All right, let's do this. It's Tuesday morning. Hopefully, you had a great, restful 4-day weekend. Hopefully, you're ready to be back in school. I'm sure you're not, probably not, but we'll start off the week with some vocabulary words from the winter hibiscus. Some of these words we've already seen, some of them we'll see later on in the week, but let me share the screen. I think there are 13. Yeah, so remember, they're not numbered. I think there are 13. 12. There's 12. Remember, when you click on the Quizlet, it's going to start off at a top of the page that's really not going to be helpful. So remember, just kind of, it's helpful for studying, but it's not helpful if you want to complete one of those vocabulary sheets. And remember, I've had a couple questions. This is the third time we've done this, but it's only the third time we've done it. So some were asking, where can I find the synonyms and antonyms? And remember, it's like when you go to Google Classroom and it says Winter Hibiscus Study Guide, it'll be right there. The link to the Quizlet will be there so you can get the definitions, and then the link to the synonyms and antonyms will be there. Right. It might say like inert, I don't know, synonym, but it will have synonyms and antonyms in that. All right, so let's go over these 12 words. You can imagine a vocabulary quiz will be coming up on this. But the whole idea of the study guide is that, like, that's where you kind of do the hard work, the studying for these words. I think this is a little bit more difficult than the actual quiz. Luckily, most of the time, people are just crushing the quizzes, that's the goal. So the hard work, writing all that stuff down. Remember, it's only 8 of the words, 8 of the 12. But hopefully I know it probably sucks to do, but in a way, like, you're actually learning the words without really kind of knowing you're learning them, hopefully, spending a little time with these words. So I guess if I was a really good teacher, I would ask you to do all 12, but I don't know, 8. 8's good enough, I hope. All right, let's look at the first one. The first one is vague, and you can see the definition. It's not clear. So hopefully, a good teacher, hopefully, will not give vague instructions. Hopefully, it's that sweet spot between, like, giving you enough information, but not giving you too much where you're bored. You're like, yeah, I know. And maybe when I went over the directions for a third time for the study guide, you're like, I know. But I think some people could be helped. So you want to give enough details when you're filling out your answers on the Google form. You don't want to be vague. I mentioned Friends, and not as many people this year, I don't think, are fans of that TV show Friends. It is like 30 years old, but 5 years ago when I was teaching, a lot of people were Friends of fans, and I could do things like that, and people were like, they would get it. But I don't know. I just don't think that time has passed. I don't think Friends is as famous, but there was a guy named Chandler Bing. He was like, I think he said it a couple times, but could you be any more vague? It's when just people aren't giving you enough detail. All right, the next one, let's make it bigger. Resonance. Resonance is the next one, and that is the ability to connect emotionally. So maybe there'll be a song. I'm a huge fan of music, probably not the same music that you like, but sometimes just songs will connect with me on an emotional level. And you might hear this form of the word more, but resonated or resonate. Okay, resonance is the noun, it's the thing. The song may have resonance for you. You might connect with it. But I also used the different one, like the verb, which is a little more common. Just the winter hibiscus uses the noun, but the song really resonated with me. It reminded me of my best friend. So sometimes you'll listen to a song, you're like, connect with it emotionally. Maybe, I'll admit, I don't care. I'll admit, I've listened to some songs and just like tears, whatever, is going on in my life. It might have reminded me of a time or whatever. Oh, Yeah, couple of them. The last one to do that, it was like a really slow version of an 80s song. Aha. Can't remember the name of the song. Take on me, I think. But it was like, oh, it was good. It was good. I think only boomers liked it, but probably that's why I liked it. But it was good. The next one, chiding. Chiding. Now we have talked about this because we read it already, but scolding, to be mad at someone. And if you look at that picture, it's somebody chiding a dog. I think that's as big as I can. Nope. There you go. So they're kind of wagging their finger, chiding. I'm hoping that, your parents don't have to chide you that often, but it's usually like someone who has power over someone or just authority or something like that. So certainly an owner over a dog. I guess you could chide your best friend. You're mad at something they did. Yeah, you could. So it doesn't always have to be an authority figure, but we've talked about that. Hopefully, you know that one, chiding. All right, I should probably make this smaller so we can see all of it. All right, insistent, demanding attention. So if you look at this little mouse, this little mouse has gone through some trouble to get that cheese. Like he or she even put on a motorcycle helmet of some sort to try to get that cheese. So in the picture, let me make that bigger. The mouse is definitely insistent on getting that cheese. I also have a sentence here for you. I had an insistent headache. I had to go to bed early. So it was just like, I hope nobody gets, when I was younger, I used to get migraines. Like they would be so bad, I would just have to go into a dark room, shut my eyes, and stay there. Luckily, I outgrew that. I don't know. That's not the case anymore. But I had it. I think I had it during middle school and high school. Two very stressful times in your life. But an insistent headache, it just will not go away. Demands your attention. Maybe you have little brothers and sisters. They could be very insistent on getting your attention. They don't give up. Hopefully you don't. I don't know. It's good to be loved, but hopefully they're not too annoying, the little brothers and the little sisters. All right, this next one will not take too long. We talked about this. Dilapidated. And you can see falling apart, ruined, run down. I think I did mention EL is becoming a little dilapidated. Luckily, you'll be in the new EL next year. I can blow up that picture right there. That's a perfect example of a dilapidated building. Just like you can't live in that thing. If you walk in there, you might fall through the floor. So dilapidated, dangerous, falling apart, ruined, run down. The next one, genial. Hopefully you can see that. I'll make it a little smaller though. Genial. It's friendly, cheerful. If you're going to tour the school, which you will be doing, EL, you'll be doing that next year. Hopefully you have a fairly genial tour guide. You want them to be somewhat friendly. They don't have to be over the top friendly, but answering your questions. You don't want someone crossing their arms and they don't really want to be there. Genial. You might have a dog. Hopefully their disposition we use with dogs, it's just the way they are naturally. Hopefully their natural disposition is genial. You want dogs to be friendly, cheerful. You don't want them to be aggressive and mean. Right now, my daughter is babysitting or house setting, dog setting. My brother and his wife are in Canada, and so she is dog sitting and house sitting, making sure nobody comes in, keeping a light on and stuff. And the dog, could not be nicer. Very genial, very friendly. She's got a mean bark though when you enter, which is probably what you want. But she's the nicest dog, so friendly. She's a lab. She's got a tail that hurts if she hits your leg with it. It's good for swimming. Labs are known for swimming, and but unfortunately, I'm allergic to dogs. So when I sat on the couch yesterday and hung out up there, My eyes started watering. Hopefully you're not allergic to dogs. I've spoken to some people though, and they are allergic to dogs. It's not fun, especially if you like dogs. Deference. Deference. This is we've had a similar word to this before. I can't think of what it is right now. But man, I can't remember what it is. I'm sure somebody remembers. But we've had a word like this. The definition for deference is humble submission and deep respect. Oh, please, if you remember it, please raise your hand. I can't. We've had a word. It's early in the morning. Anyways, let's talk about this word though. Deference. So you would be like, it's just like mad respect. Just, I mean, almost like you're worshiping them. And if you look at I don't know if this is healthy or not, but if you look at the picture, like this person, I can't even tell who these people are. Is that President Obama? I can't tell. And I don't know who those people are, but that person right there is definitely showing deference, deep respect, getting a little bow there. So that's deference. Again, not sure if that's healthy, especially like to like normal people, but in certain cultures, it might be more accepted. I don't know in like the American culture if we like that kind of bowing. Some people do, and probably other cultures. Maybe not this one. So be careful. You don't want to worship too many people, but it also comes from like that word defer. So like you can let somebody else do something first. You defer. You could also with college, just college is on my mind right now. But let's say you get a scholarship. Hopefully you do, whatever, if you want to go to college. And then, but you want to take a gap year. Like you don't want to go right from high school to college. You can defer that scholarship for a year. So you just kind of like pass it on. You let it go for a year, defer. You could defer to somebody else. So like if somebody is asking you a question, but you don't know the answer, you're like, I'll just defer to her. And then maybe like she knows the answer better. Defer. Deference. That's where it comes from. All right, the next one. Let's move down here. Epitome. Epitome. So the best or most typical example. Now, if you look at that picture right there, hopefully you can see it. I'll make it bigger. Yeah, that could be the epitome of an American soldier. Like if you look at that person, you're like, yep, that's perfect example of a soldier. The epitome. So, man, I'm actually, it might sound like I'm going to swear now, but I'm not going to. Hell, if you're using it as a place, that might exist or might not. Or if I'm going to compare it, like you might think an afternoon English class, learning vocabulary when you've been in school all day could be like the epitome of hell. I hope it's not. I hope you don't feel like that. I hope you don't think this is the worst place on earth, but the epitome, like the perfect example. How about this? Baseball has been on my mind a little bit. And if you look at, I don't know, Aaron Judge, if you know that guy, he's a baseball player, right? He's almost like the epitome of the perfect baseball player. Like he can crush a ball. You want that in a baseball player, but like he's pretty good at fielding and he seems like a pretty nice guy. So if you want like the face of a sport, sometimes say that. For a long time, Tom Brady was the face of the NFL. Like the epitome of like a good athlete. You want that. They have the skills, but they're also they seem like a nice guy. They don't seem like a serial killer or anything. Geez, that's all over Netflix now, isn't it? Serial killers. All right. The epitome of like a devil on earth might be Jeffrey Dahmer. Yeah, he would be the epitome of just a horrible person. I hope you haven't. I got 10 minutes into that show. My wife and I, like over the weekend, because it was long, we're like, everybody's talking about this thing. We got like 10 minutes into it. Started off very boring. And then like, where's this thing going? Click. Let's just watch something else. Yeah. So that was the epitome of something I would not watch. All right, the next one, jutted. Jutted means stuck out. So if you look at that right there, you can see that side of the mountain right there, that cliff, it juts out. from the rest of it. You might also hear like jutting out their jaw. I don't know. Maybe they're upset or something. Yes, little kids. Maybe it's a good way to, like, if you want to write like a little kid is mad about something. Oh, they jutted out their jaw. Jutted out. Okay. How about that? Jutted. Stuck out. The next one. Oh no. This one might hit a little close to home to me. This is 3 more left. This next one is paunch. 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 A lard or protruding belly, a pot belly. So you could also say that person's belly juts out over their belt. I had a friend, I had a teacher, and then I worked with him, and he used to say, it's mean. Probably shouldn't say it, but there was a teacher that was a little bit bigger that we worked with, and he said, "Whoa, he's got a Dunlop." It's like, what's a Dunlop? It's like his belly Dunlopped over his belt. It's just mean. Please don't say that. Please don't say that. But that man, he passed away. I don't know, maybe 8 years ago. He was a good guy. He was my coach at one time, and then he became like a guy I worked with. He's a good guy, much older than me, but funny guy. But paunch, it might be a nice way to say someone is a little overweight, but if you look at that picture, make it bigger, that's the epitome of a paunch right there. Unfortunate. All right, the next one, interminable. Interminable. Endless. So long as to seem endless. So it could actually be endless or just feel like it's endless. So those stairs, that staircase kind of looks interminable. I think I have an actual sentence for you. Yeah. Hope this isn't true. But maybe wow, this has gone on a long time. 17 minutes. But hopefully you're getting these down. My English class seemed interminable. I fell asleep twice. I hope you're not sleeping right now. Wake up. Wake up. That's one thing though, man. I think I said at the beginning of the year, I'm like, I don't wake students up. Like, that's their fault, right? Like, they're whatever. They're falling asleep. I mean, but they're not hurting anybody else. I don't know. Maybe they didn't get enough sleep last night. Maybe they were up playing video games too long. That's not good. But I mean, I'm not going to wake you. Your grades will suffer. Either your grades will suffer or you'll have to work harder outside of class. But, it's one of those things. You're not hurting anybody, but I'd rather you not fell asleep. But is this the last one? I think it is. Impassive, not showing any emotion. And death is one of those things. And I got a sentence here about death, but a lot of things, people react to death, differently. When I watched that Jeffrey Dahmer TV series, and I'm a huge fan of the Evan Peters and Richard Dawkins, like two actors. Like, I think Richard Dawkins plays the dad, and Evan Peters plays like Jeffrey Dahmer. Love those two actors. I like what they've done before, so I'm like, I want to watch this. But I don't know. I was not impassive while I was watching that. Like, I had some emotion. Click. My wife did too. But after my dog died, I was in a pretty impassive mood. I didn't break down for a week. So sometimes when a death happens or whatever, like, there's a bit of shock and you just like don't show any emotion. Let's go back to Aaron Judge. Like, when he hit that, I didn't see him hit the home run. I didn't see his reaction, but he probably wasn't impassive. He probably showed some emotion. Breaking that record. All right, wow, that's enough. 20 minutes. Hopefully it wasn't the worst thing in the world, and hopefully you got some of your study guide done. A little time to work in class, then a little Frank and Beans. All right, see ya.